on?
Yeah.
It's recording, I think.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, we had a place where my dad worked on stuff. It was a garage, but we didn't use it to put cars in. We just placed it where he worked.
Yeah.
And he had all his tools on the wall and everything. Well, anyway, and that vise in there, and I was making something. I don't know what I was making. Oh, I remember that we had one of these things that comes out of the old-fashioned telephones where you turn a crank to generate the electricity to use the phone. And so it had a bunch of magnets and it had an armature inside with a crank on it. And so I found out I put a bulb there and put some wires up there, and I turned it, I could make the light bulb go on, you know. Not really as bright as the power, but and this kid next door, he was older than I was. I was about 12, and he's about 15 or so, taller than me, and lanky fella. But anyway, he said, "Could you make an electric chair?" Yeah, I said, "You can make an electric chair."
What made him think of that?
Anyway, he wanted to shock the girls.
Oh.
Shock the girls. So I made the chair first, and then I decided that it was just a crude chair, but I made a chair. And I thought, well, they're going to be dressed and everything, so their hands are bare. So I decided that the arms on this chair would be the contact point. And so I took a tin can and I folded it around on the fit the arm, and then I drilled a hole through there.
They couldn't have got shocked to death, could they?
No,
Oh, right.
wouldn't have got shocked to death. No. Anyway,
How old were you?
about 12 years old. Anyway,
My goodness.
anyway, we put the wire up under the arm, come out here and up through that hole, and we soldered it up. Well, I did all the work. He was just watching more than anything else. We soldered it onto that piece of tin, then we put it back down there, see? And we made one on this side. We had two wires and went back here. And the plasterboard was it was a gypsum we'll call it rock lath that you're supposed to plaster on. But it hadn't been plastered, so there was you know, anything you did to it, you make a hole in it, it wouldn't hurt because you're going to plaster it later. So I made a hole through there, and I put the wires through there, and I put this thing on the other side, and we're going to crank it up to make the electricity. And so I told him, I said, well, you go around there and turn that crank, and I'll see if it works. So I didn't set in it, but I just standing in front of the chair, and I put my hands on the arms, and he cranked it, and of course I could feel it, you know, the shock coming through. So I said, it works. So he ran out and told all the girls, they were out there and swinged. We had swings and slides. And
Your sister's, is that?
yeah, and his sister. Did he have a sister? I don't know. Anyway, there was some other girls there too, I think. Maybe just my sisters. But anyway, they were all playing out there, and he went out and he told them, he said, come and we got a chair made for you. But anyway, he came and came in there, and Rosemary, she's the middle sister, but she was a very lively one, and she got there first, like she always did. And she came in and she saw it, just took a look at the chair, and she went in the house and she told my mother, she said, come and see the chair that the boys have made, or David made, or whatever. And so she came out, she was fast moving, and she came out and she said, where's the chair, where's the chair? And I said, it's in there. Well, what's it doing in there? And she grabbed the chair and she started pulling it out to take it outside.
His mother.
Now,
That wire was attached to it.
yeah, it was attached to it. And when she saw those wires on there, she knew what it was. And boy, she starts scolding me for doing that. And, you know, she went in there and she got that sewing machine belt. And she came out and she was whipping with that thing. And of course the kid, he ran home. Just the first thing he found out that was in trouble. Well, he was
No
gone.
paternity at all. He's gone.
It wasn't his chair anymore. It was just David's chair.
So he was the only one that got shocked.
Yeah, I was the only one that got shocked and the only one that got whipped.
And the only one who did the work.
So do not build an electric chair is the lesson.
the thing of it is, whatever the task that was at hand, there was the man to do it.
Yes.
No doubt. So I know who to contact if I need an electric chair. If I'm having any trouble with anyone.
I was talking about that kid. The school was going to have a contest. Everybody make all the boys would make I guess girls could have done it too if they wanted to, but anyway, kites. And we're going to have a demonstration of kites. And it had several prizes, 1 or 2 prizes, first prize, second, so on. Could make his kite. So this kid, the same kid, he wanted me. He said, "Let's make a kite." So we knew that should get something kind of lightweight. Or I thought, well, maybe if we got some bamboo, and it grew over to the river. So we went over to the river and we got this bamboo. Long story, I had to get it. We had to go way down, cross the river on a railroad bridge, and come over on the other side. Anyway, we got the bamboo and split it, and we made this kite. It must have been 7 feet at least tall, and 4 feet or 5 feet wide across, just regular kite. And we got rags and we made the tail for it out of that and got it all made up. And boy, when we finished it, he grabbed that thing and he says that I'll present it tomorrow and whatever. And he took over just like it was his. He went and won the prize and got a prize. I think was some kind of big ice cream thing that he could, big ice cream cone or something. And he came eating it and said,
He ate it all, huh?
we won the prize. So he got it.
You were ready to stick him in that electric chair, weren't you?
But anyway.
Did you taste any of that ice cream?
No, I didn't. But another time I was wrestling with him some way. And I had him down on the ground, and where they had that electric chair right in that garage. It was in the garage. It was my bedroom, Paul and my bedroom. And the house was right across the little patio, like as big as this here, carpet. And I had him down there on that patio, wrestling with him. And I said, whenever you have enough, now he's bigger than me, but I said, you just, tell me, I'll say uncle or something. Well, I had him down there, and my mother came out. She saw it. And she brought her belt. And she started whipping on me, and I'd get up there, So when I turned him loose, I didn't know I had his windpipe cut off. I had him down there, on the floor. When I let him go, it made a noise like some kind of balloon letting some water out, noise around, and he started crying. And he was staggering around. I guess he about choked him to death. I guess.
That's horrible. So that spanking saved you from being a murderer.
He finally ran home, and my mom she was upset about that. She gave me a good whipping over that.
Horrible.
Do you think he just put it all on for show? You think he did it for show?
Oh, I don't know. There's other things we did. He took me over to the side of the river where the river had overflowed in a big, beside the river, but it was low ground, and it just kind of like a swamp in there, and the trees, it just went around trees and everything. It must have overflowed quite a bit because to have that place there. Then the river was real full, and we got, they call them crawdads. Crawdads are
Like a little mini lobster,
Okay.
crayfish. Kind of thing.
crayfish. That's what that thing.
I know crayfish. Yeah.
Anyway, we got those, and I remember he cooked them and everything, and I didn't think much of them except the tails. You could break the tails, the scales off the tails, and that was pretty good meat right in there. Just a little dab of it, but it tasted good anyway. Did different things.
What was his name? Do you remember?
I used to know it.
Can't remember.
Was he the boy you played with most of the time growing up?
Well, they moved a lot, didn't you, Daddy?
Yeah, we wasn't there that long, but yeah, I did play. Well, I used to play. I did things with him. You know, like making those things, and I don't know if he is involved in that tent that I made. You know, that church tent that I had church services in it. But
What, for the neighbor kids?
yeah, I made this tent, and I don't know. I made
The
one.
tent event.
I made one.
Everything, wasn't he?
Huh? Did you hear that?
No.
Anyway, I've been to church and I'd given my heart to the Lord, and I'd got my first Bible I sent off to David C. Cook Company that supplied Christian materials and books, and I got my own Bible, first Bible that I ever bought, and I got it and carried it to school, and everybody was going, "What are you going to be, a preacher or something, brother?" You know. But anyway, I came home. Well, there's a lot next to our house, and I went out there and I erected these poles, you know, from the river, and I got some canvas and I got burlap sacks and whatever I could get, and I fastened it all together, and I made a tent, and I made wooden pews, and
How old were you then? Same sort of age?
about 12 years old, and I made a stand for the Bible and all that sort of stuff. Went in the house and got little plaques that said "Pray without ceasing" or whatever, and I had them hanging around. So we invited everybody in there, and we'd sing hymns and read scriptures out of the Bible and stuff. And there was one boy, I don't remember who he was now, don't remember his name, but he wanted to give his heart to the Lord. So I said, "Well, you'll have to come with me to church." And I took him to church for that. I didn't think we ought to have him. Well, we could have him, but I didn't know much about leading somebody to the Lord, so I took him to church. But there was one boy down there, kind of a rougher boy. He came with a couple of boys. I think his brother was with him. And I was up there, you know, in front, leading the singing, and I saw a shadow coming toward the tent. And all of a sudden I saw something like went up in the air above the tent. I didn't just shadow, you know. And I stepped back out of the way, and it just all the water come pouring. He took a big bucket of water. And it was right where I was. It wasn't canvas, it was a burlap. Of course, it came right through.
So you managed to get out the way.
Yeah.
Smart.
I'm persecuted already.
There's things like that, kid stuff.
I just think you led that boy to the Lord from an early age. You never know how that changed his life, what you did. Speaking to that boy, taking that boy to church.
I remember another boy came. It wasn't there though. That was right. It was after we moved. We made another church, and it was a single car garage, and it had a big pile of rubbish. You know, probably 3 feet high, right in the middle of it.
How are you?
Well, look at there, Rennie.
Well, look up there.
Hi, Rennie.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. You missed the story of the electric chair. I'm sure you probably heard that one before.
Several.
We were just hearing, Vince had never heard it.